Welcome back. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Following on from my last management experience, I was promoted to the assistant manager of the U20 national team, and I got to go to a World Cup qualifier over in Curaçao. Jovaunn Ramos is going to be joining me today, who's an up-and-coming central midfielder here in the country and was integral to that tournament. We're going to be looking back on some of the highlights, some of the goals, and we're going to get to hear his incredible story as to how he got to where he is today. If you're enjoying all this content, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow Jove on his journey, then links are in the description below. Second half, 5-0 down. What was your kind of expectation? What kind of target did you set yourself?
Well, when I went in the game, I was just thinking about, trying to get us on the score, and also just to maintain position, just to show a little bit of how Belize can touch the ball and move the ball better.
So what you're doing instantly there is you're just coming on, taking one little touch, moving, pass, move, you're beating a player, and there's your movement there. It's just really quick move, and it instantly injects pace into the game with just this. You don't really like to hold on to it for too long.
Yeah.
I mean, you can dribble, and I've got a clip of you coming up where you can show that you can dribble. But when you're in that deeper role in midfield, you, more often than not, you just try and move it.
Trying to move it. The pace of the style of play and the speed of play, it's got to be fast when you're playing the sixth position.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the roles there, isn't it? Is just trying to jump in and nick the ball a little bit. And even if you don't win it, just forcing an error.
Yeah.
And winning the ball back a different way. Look, this little pass through here, just playing it out wide and then moving, trying to combine with it if possible, linking the play. Unfortunately, the pass wasn't as good back to you there. So this game ended 6-0. Not a start anybody was expecting. I think there was a genuine belief before the game against Guadalupe there
that we were going to walk over the team. Well, to be honest, the team, the energy of the team, we were very confident of the first game, to be honest, yeah. I think we were going to win the game, a little bit, that little thinking behind your mind. Thought we were going to win the game, yeah.
And what was it like afterwards, that night when we all got back to the hotel? Because we gave everybody just time to go away and reflect. Was that something that you guys all did?
Me and the boys, some of us, we went into our room and we were like, yo, that's 6-0, that kind of woke up us. And we thought that we deserved to start the next game because, we want to show them that we belong on the first team. And the guys and I, we thought that we were going to just watch the game over and we're going to see what they didn't do and we can do better. That's just the mindset we put on our heads. I'm 18 years old recent. I've been playing football since I was 7. I played on different teams. I was once signed with the Belmopan Bandits. Then I went to Belize to play with the Stars Academy. And then from there, now I'm trying to go back to Belmopan Bandits but playing with the first division team. I live in Belmopan now, but first I lived in Belize. Yeah, I live in Belize City.
Well, what's the difference in terms of growing up between living in Belmopan and living in Belize City?
Definitely the crime. It's kind of hard to play football. You gotta go through a lot to even come out of the house because your parents will be worrying about you. So it's kind of hard to even play football in Belize than to play football in Belmopan. It's very safe in Belmopan. Well, if you're growing up, there's some areas you can't really walk around. For one, there's a lot of gang-related stuff in Belize. So you have to really know who you hang around with, affiliate yourself with. So me, when I was there, I used to go to the school Vianney. I didn't even know how to play football, right? And the area was south side and they used to have shootout right in front of my house, literally right in front of my house. So really, you can't really walk about in Belize City without even, seeing violence or hearing violence.
We've made some big changes.
Yeah.
One of the big changes we made was that we didn't use the usual 4-3-3 formation, and we said we're going to set up to be difficult to beat, to go a little bit more defensive with a 4-4-2. So we've got 5 changes coming in there. Goalkeeper, right back, yourself coming into midfield, Michael Palacio going out onto the right making his debut, and Buddy Galvez coming in as a second striker really.
Yeah.
How did you think this team compared to the first?
Well, looking at the team, I thought that this team had more hardworking players than the first team. Also that the attacking team was a little bit more stable to me, considering Wilfredo. He could probably hold the ball, if not the best, kind of the best on the team, yeah. And considering Michael Palacio with the technical skills he have out there, also that was a good, addition. And then Jovaunn, he was the marker of he marked the number 13 very well. Actually he injured the number 13 too. And then Devin, he's kind of a wall back there for us.
So a lot of changes made to that team. Let's have a look at this to me. So CONCACAF said that this was the best individual match of the whole of the qualifiers. You think when you were playing in it, did you think this is quite a special game?
Well, I thought it was, if not the best game in the U20 qualifiers, it was one of the games to watch then, to be honest.
Yeah, so straight away Jovaunn there dealing with that number 13, just showing he can match him for pace. And he's also powerful. He's a young boy, Jovaunn, isn't he? I didn't
realize he's 17, yeah.
Yeah, he's a year younger than you. But I thought he did really well. Certainly in the first half of the game. So we sat back, as you can see, we're kind of more players behind the ball, but then there's you straight away trying to get that one touch, move the ball on, move into space, and get it running. We got Jesse August here, who we're kind of seeing for the first time playing up front, almost as a lone striker at times. Now, I think his story in this was incredible because up until 2 weeks before the tournament, maybe even less than that, he was completely injured for maybe 4 to 6 months, hadn't played a game.
He hadn't even trained with us.
How do you think he did, and what do you think about the decision to take him?
Well, to take him, for his leadership, it was a big plus for the team, obviously, since we didn't have Capello. Also, even though he was injured, to be honest, his injury had no effect, almost no effect while playing. Only probably after the game then he would complain, but while playing, he took some painkillers and he played as though he was 100.
So we're into this game now as Michael Palacio. It's his first start internationally, always dropped just beforehand, but there he is. Jesse August all the way back there helping out. And he's got these legs that kind of, he's not actually that tall when you see him. He looks really tall here, but he's not the tallest player in the world, but his legs seem to just extend.
He got some very long legs, coach.
How do you think he did on his first?
He was one of the best wingers on our team. Probably one of the most productive winger on the team. He gave more than just an assist. He gave technical abilities. He gave passes. He gave, space. He stayed on this line probably most of the game, and he was,
And you've been playing with this boy for how many years?
Since I was 13 too. I was playing with Michael Palacio since I was 13.
But Michael Palacio is not a right winger.
He's actually a 6'2". He's actually a central midfielder. His character is very, very, unique, and I think that it doesn't matter what position you got him playing. You just want to play and help the team win. That's Michael Palacio right there for you. When I was playing U10, I used to go to the Stars camp with Stanley Renner, and it was a summer camp that was for 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight. And you would just go for the morning to the afternoon, play football, and they would give you a little snack and a drink. And then the football there, they would have this senior defense, Valance Sims, and different coaches there to teach you the basics, not really, nothing major, but the basics of football. I didn't usually play football because I didn't even play sports because of the violence, but since my godfather got me into the sport, he would have to come for me way at my house to actually carry me to the field because I couldn't even walk.
You started off with the summer camp kind of thing, and that quickly started to evolve into giving you opportunities to not just play in Belize, but you got a chance to go and play over in Miami, I think.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that trip and how that came about.
It came about because they selected 3 players to go to this summer camp called Bescola Camp in Miami, held by FC Barcelona. It is different branches that is held in the US, right? So you have to play with a smart team in Belize City. I played with Brown Bombers the first year, and I didn't get selected. Then the second year, I played with Brown Bombers again, and I started to show who I am. Then I got selected the first year. So you go to the camp for a week, and you train from the morning till the afternoon, right? And then they give you suits, definitely. 2 different suits, a red and a blue one. And then you play games in different teams to compete against the rest.
How did you think your own level was before arriving? How did you think your own level was once you arrived?
Well, when we arrived, we noticed that the kids could do, marvelous stuff besides even touching the ball. They could do around the world, they could shoot free kicks, and we couldn't even juggle the ball probably 200 times, right? And these kids will be juggling the ball 300 times, 400 times. And we just thought that, Belize's level of football was very low compared to other countries, because these players came from all over the world. Italy, Spain, you have players within the States too, Miami, also Chicago. They come from away from Chicago, LA, and they just come to the summer camp just to, participate. It's way different, the buildings, for the first time the buildings are faked actually. So if a kid from Belize City go, it would be like they wouldn't be able to sit down in the plane because they want to see what the plane do. So for the first time when I went to the States, I couldn't even sit down good. Every minute I wanted to go to the bathroom, the restroom, and I wanted to look over through the window of the plane, see what it looks like. And when we arrived, it was like this poster of our names, and and it just felt like we were touching, international levels, and just seeing how America looks and the difference between America and Belize, it's so different.
This is a goal for them. It's in the first half. It kind of came out of nowhere, really. It was a very quick attack by them. They played some nice passes, and say it was a good goal that they scored. I wouldn't say there was massive mistakes there by the Belizean players. They just kind of got outplayed. Do you think the mentality was still strong at that point?
Well, the goal, I think it pushed us more to just want to win more. And we just started to go to the ref more, because the ref, he was really out of his mind, to be honest. Actually, we supposed to got a penalty before even Curaçao scored, right? But that just pushed us more to show that the crowd and that the ref, we were playing against them too. So that drove us, to win the game.
That crowd, I love that combination there where you're trying to link in, but it does come to the number 9 who you'd expect to be able to do something with, and he isn't able to. But the crowd was a factor. The stadium wasn't massive, but it was quite a nice stadium.
Yeah, it was a big stadium for sure.
But they had a lot of people turned up. They made it free for the public to come and access, and they came down to support their team, which I thought was great, exposing more youth football. Some nice play there by Buddy. Michael Palacio picks it up on the other wing, beats a player, looks for that little drag back. Poor finish.
Yeah, poor finish.
So here's Buddy Galvez, again being a nuisance up front, and he's brought down. Referee does make the call on that one there.
Rolling like Neymar over there.
Yeah, he's rolling around a bit too much for me, but
sells it.
Yeah, Jesse August, cool, calm, good finish. Now you can see Hugo running over to him straight away here to join in with the celebration, and you give it the kind of Steven Gerrard, getting the arms up in the air, trying to get people hyped.
Just trying to tell the crowd that we're here. They just can't come and walk over Belize, There's like 11 warriors out on that pitch, and we want to improve the crowd around.
And I think that was the difference between this team and maybe the one that started against Guadalupe, was when you went 1-0 down, I think it did just fuel you on to fight harder and to push back more and to really attack the game rather than letting the heads drop. So get some more nice play there. There was chances at both ends, but I felt it was a very, very balanced game. And it was, if you kind of watch the quality of the Curaçao players, they did have a lot of very good technical players, So there's you doing some fantastic dribbling, make the decision in the end to go for a pass. Looking back on it, do you think you looked forward rather than to your right?
I think I could have shoot the ball, but I think I was gonna kind of be selfish to do that because that was on my left, and I thought that Buddy was in a better position to score the ball, but
yeah,
just didn't happen.
So this was a big moment in the game. Jovaunn Flowers just got sent off. Is maybe 10-15 minutes from the end of the game. He's done a fantastic job marking their key threat all game, kept him very quiet, but he picked up a second yellow.
And one man down, and me have to pick up. It was a wonderful defensive experience. Yeah.
They get this little free kick here, managed to finish the goal, and I think this is where the mindset now kind of really starts to dip. And actually their fitness, I think, came in here. And as I said, 10 of their starting 11 play professionally in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And 10. I think their physical condition really was starting to come into show in these last 10 minutes here. And you can see that now with, I love this clip. That was a good chance actually, wasn't it? Yeah. This next clip here now with you seemingly taking a little rest on the halfway line. There you are. Just keeping an eye on things.
Cramp.
Jesse's still there fighting away, hasn't played in 6 months, but he's still able to go. He's rolling around on the floor trying to make something happen.
Perfect, giving us nothing.
Gives you nothing. They're bringing the ball out nice and slow. Jovann's back up in position. Nope. Just sat there chilling. Dion next to you, can't walk.
Cramps.
He's got the cramp. Michael Palacio tired there, just tries to hack him down, can't bring him down. They end up managing to thread this ball through. Fortunately, the keeper does really well.
He's the wall.
Yeah, he did do fantastic. And I think in the last 5 minutes it was more about hanging on once that goal went in.
When I was 16 years old, that's 3 years after, it was like 45 to 35 players. They come into the camp for a weekend, and that weekend is like your only week to show you belong on a team. Then they cut it down to like 25, then they cut it down to 18. At that age, we didn't really play inter-districts and stuff like that with the group of players we had there.
So that first year, you managed to make it down to the last 18?
Yeah, sure I did.
And what was your kind of starting position at that stage?
Well, firstly, I used to play the holding midfielder, the number 8, and then gradually I grew it into the number 6. So for the Guatemala trip, I played the 8, the 6, and the 10. I'm better at the 6, but I would prefer playing the 8.
What makes you want to play that?
Well, I'm closer to the goal, and I like to give assists and score.
So the first trip you went on was this Guatemala trip, where you got to put on the Belize shirt for the first time.
Was in October. The first game, all the players was very nervous. We lost the game 5-0, but the first game gave us a really strong wake-up call. We then returned to the hotel, and we played back-to-back matches, no rest day. Well, after that trip, the captain and I, the sub-captain, we told the guys that it just can't be the coach that's gonna help us to grow. We gotta do our own part during the week, and our physical trainer, he also told us that he can't get us in shape in 2 days a week. We gotta do our homework, and he used to set 15 minutes run, 2x15, 3x15 to do, and it helped me. I did it, and the other guys took the other Belmopan guys, and you could see some of the guys did it, and those were the guys that stayed on the team for the second trip. You can see it. The U17 level, the CONCACAF level, that was the U17 World Cup qualifiers, and we were in a group of 4. We had 3 games: Dominican Republic, and Antigua. I played the 6. I actually played the whole tournament, all minutes. Yeah, I played the 6.
We fast forward a year, and Belize sets its new personal best. It has its best tournament ever. It was the U18 tournament down in Costa Rica, in UNCAF, where they came runners-up. Went through the group stage, all the way through the knockouts, made it to the final, and unfortunately lost in the final. I noticed you weren't in the list for that tournament.
No, I wasn't in the list. I came back 2 weeks before the final list was cut. It was me and another guy in the United States. We came back. Sadly, I was cut. Yeah, it definitely drove me to improve better as a much better midfielder. I thought that, I got to make it on another trip. I got to work harder. So while they were out, I played with the Belize City team, the club team that went to Honduras, and that team helped me get back my form. The 2 matches helped me, to actually test out how I could do on the international stage.
Final game, it's not going to be possible to win the group anymore.
Yeah, we just needed to go back home with a win, and to end off the tournament with a banger, to be honest.
So you're back in midfield. Michael Palacio kept his place. There he is, back on the ball, staying on the right, puts in a ball across there. Buddy Galvez comes up with the goods.
Yeah.
Will that goal have meant a lot to him?
Yeah, definitely. He's on a streak right now for the CONCACAF. He scored in every CONCACAF tournament right now.
Really?
Yeah, for us.
So I think he's kind of put himself back on that radar there on the international scene as well, of what he's capable of. Alwyn Zelaya comes on now, who's a fantastic dribbler of the ball, but maybe his decision making isn't always the best at an international level.
Yeah.
I think playing domestically in Belize, he's able to do what he does a lot more. But when you play against tougher opposition, I think he needs to improve, add more strings to his bow. But that's some really nice combination round the keeper, and
wonderful finish.
yeah, you can't argue with that. Moving on to another bit of play now. So this is a nice long ball running behind by Jesse August, doing what he does. He's got that pace, hasn't he, about him? And he's a very good finisher. It wasn't really on show in the Curaçao game, but usually he is a very strong finisher.
Well, Ian Paul has a wonderful whistle, He just kind of whistled for me, and I saw him open, and I kind of just chipped the ball. What a wonderful control by Ian Paul, and just finished.
4-0, really good finish there. What was it like then after that? We had big celebrations in the changing rooms after.
Yeah, we sang the Ole, and we thought that, what a wonderful game. Why not just enjoy, and while it lost, just try to always take out the positive from every single game you play. Just doesn't always need to be a negative effect. Although we didn't even qualify, but just take out the positive from the tournament and move on.